Hey, hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Wednesday, another episode of Ken versus 10. I'm Ken, if you didn't figure that out. What's up? I am back after a week off. Last week, man, I have been busy, 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 and I see already Office Patrick. Patrick Murphy is here. Why, yes, hello, and chat and panel sneaking in to say hello and light up that thumbs up. Mr. Jack Bryan, my friend Brian, is in the chat as well. Well, I guess I can like it already. Gonna be Ken, so it can't be that bad. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Um. Oh, thank you for being here. My mother's here. My mom and pop watching right next door. Breakdancing Judy. Mark Turner is here. What is up, Mark? Howdy, howdy to you. Good morning, Jordan, upstate picker. Good to have you all in here. Man, I have been busy. I noticed I still have my Christmas stuff up from Christmas in July. It's been that long since I did something. I thought, well, there's only about like 130 some days until Christmas. Hell, maybe I'll just leave it up back there. How do you think my Santa beard's doing though? I'm about a month into Santa beard season. And so it's kind of starting to get a little bit scraggly. What is up, Kristen, a rural squirrel? Hey, hey, hey. Back from a bike ride. Mike Metco is here. Hey, Ken, quick check in. Can't stay long. I am at eBay Open and the festivities are about to begin. Very cool, Mike. Thank you for taking like a few minutes or few seconds or whatever to pop in and say, hey, out there in Vegas, I think that I see, and I'm looking forward to that content from that meetup. Enjoy your time out there. Tell Archie Biscuit Butt we said hey, and yeah, enjoy your time, and we'll follow along with all your content there. And there is Ruth Ann / Rebecca, my friend. Hey, hey, Santa. Four Seasons Picker is here. Good morning to everyone. 133 days, less than 5 months of Christmas shopping left. I'll have to get my list out there so you all know what to buy me. I'll try to get it out early, so it doesn't take you long. Yeah, so jelly out there at the eBay Open for sure. Beard is looking good. Thank you. Hayes to Kristen. And Raz is here. Went through another writing spree. Just need a small breather. Take a break. That's what I'm doing today. After this show, I'm not doing a thing. Chad, Quirky Picker. Chad, did you get out to 127 at all? I don't know if you were in the area. I didn't do 127 this year. I did the Route 30 because they were on the same weekend. And we'll talk about that. It's you know, there's the truest statement of the day. It's never too early for Christmas. And Chad, did you find the deals? Did you find the good stuff? Was it a worthwhile trip for you out on it is highway sale season? And had a great time. All ready for Christmas ham and yams. Patrick Murphy is ready to go. Okay, let's see. Here's a check-in. My home run was a brand new heater for a hot tub. Sold comps are $9.50. Paid $20. I love that. I love that kind of stuff. I'm going to be showing some stuff that I found on the sales. It's kind of like a Ken versus 10, except I don't have it listed yet or drafted. Usually on the show, if I'm doing a regular show, I have the items drafted. And I didn't pick up that kind of home run. I got some pretty cool stuff. And I'm just, showing a few items, kind of about 10 of them in true Ken versus 10 fashion. Um, you thought that you gave birth to a snowman in July? Uh, yes, nice score. Finds like that are always the best. And everybody congratulating Chad. Well, good, Chad. I'm glad that you had a successful 127. We so yeah, like I said, here for the last like 2.5, 3 weeks almost, I have just been go, 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 go. I've talked before that we follow along with a band called the band Feel, and they had what did I do? I just missed it. They had about 4 shows here in the Ohio area. And so we went from one end of the state, we were all the way up north near Cleveland. We were all the way down south by the Ohio River. And those were like back to back. We were kind of like Midwestern Ohio with a show that they opened for that show because they're headlining. They're a headlining tour, headlining band, but they were opening for the Black Crowes. And when you get an opportunity like that, and that was a great show, really neat venue, and just had a super good time with that, and running back and forth around and doing that. And then the Route 30 sales, the Lincoln Highway Byway highway sales were this last weekend, and my good friend, your good friend, everybody's good friend, Chris Cajun Reseller, had come up from Louisiana. On his way, he did a little bit of 127, and picked up a number of good things there, and then made his way up to our place, and we did the Route 30 on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You're kind of a deadhead. Oh, did have somebody think that I was a Grateful Dead fan because I have this shirt it's like the Waffle House. It's Waffle House, but it is like Dead Grateful Dead style. If you just glance at it, it looks like Grateful Dead, but it's a Waffle House. We're at a sale that had a bunch of records, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not sure if I have any Grateful Dead. And I'm thinking like, well, I'm not even a big Grateful Dead fan at all. And then I looked at the shirt and I was like, oh, wait, no, I'm more of a fan of waffles and breakfast food than I am the Grateful Dead band. But we had, I know, right? Every time. Shout out to the Waffle House. We, you got the Waffle House shirt. In fact, just visited ours last night wearing a said shirt. Man, we should hook up, Patrick, and be we could be twinsies. We'd be like date mates out there wearing the same. You ever see those couples that go out and they have like the same the same shirt on? Date mates, twinsies. For those that knew you, wouldn't think that you were a Rammstein fan. Yeah, I don't know. I've always known you as a Rammstein fan, but maybe, if we met in person, I'm like, nah, that's not him. That's not. Um, no Waffle House in Minnesota, but I never miss a chance when I get to the South to go there. I don't go like often. We don't have one like really close to me. There's one over near Gillstown. Um, and there's one over near Gillstown, and then if I go down towards Columbus and stuff, there's Waffle Houses everywhere. Okay. My friend used to play a game with his family when they were traveling. The first person to see a Waffle House sign had to yell to the top of their lungs, Waffle House! That's cool. Scares the crap out of everybody in the car. Of course. Isn't that the goal in traveling? Keep everybody awake, keep everybody, lively and alive and just have fun. And we had a lot of fun out at the sales between Chris and I and Jill and um wife and I do the Valentine's Day reservations at the Waffle House. Only missed a couple back in the pandemic since they started doing it back in the early teens. Oh, that's cool. What says love? What says a better night out with the one that you love than a trip to the Waffle House, right? And then you could stop by, get a tetanus shot at the emergency room. No, not like our Denny's used to be. I always felt like when I went to Denny's, I needed to get a tetanus shot afterwards. Um, Lots of IHOPs in New York, though. No Waffle Houses. I'm surprised at that. And there is Susan. There is Susan. We can't uh we can't talk about food on a Wednesday without finding out. Susan, what are you having for lunch today? Are you back at school? Are you back at school now, Susan? That is the important question. Are you on your true lunch break? Oh, yes, Kristen. And here, the travel game sounds fun. We used to play Slug Bug. Can't really play that anymore. Boy, you're really scoring points if you get a Slug Bug these days. But yes, when we were younger, um, driving back and forth up to like Northern Ohio to family, we used to play Slug Bug. If you weren't very good at the game, your arm was kind of sore by the end. Um, yeah, it is so romantic, the Waffle House. It just says love. But yeah, Slug Bug, we used to play that. Uh yes, Brian, I am back here this week. It is good to see you. I know you guys did 127 as well. We already found out that Chad scored big with a hot tub heater, $20 into 950 on that. When he sells it, comps look great on that. What did you find, Brian? Brian, what did you find? What was the big score? You can spoil it here on this show. We won't wait for your video. I played, of course, Brendan plays darts in the car. He's a man of adventure, though. I've always said that. I've always said that about Brendan. Um, uh-oh. There we go, folks. Everybody wish Susan good luck. She's having leftover meatloaf today, but today is her official last day of summer vacation till she goes back. If you don't know, if you haven't followed along, my cousin, that is my cousin, Susan. She is a school teacher. And so summer break is over and she's going back. And there's Jill right there. There is my Jill. Kacherka is here in the chat. Jill, we're just getting warmed up here. I know, right, Patrick? Leftover meatloaf is awesome. Sometimes I make like a sandwich. If you have leftover mashed potatoes, bread, piece of meatloaf, some mashed potatoes on there. Heck yeah. I haven't told any lies yet, Jill. No, I haven't told one lie yet because I really haven't got into the weekend. And there's Ruth Ann. Nice to meet you, Susan. Have a good school year. Yes, for sure. Man, that's always a tough day. Especially, I remember as a kid, that last day of summer before you had, and there was sometimes, depending on the year, there was a little excitement about kind of getting back to some of that routine and seeing your friends and not the schoolwork. Nobody wanted to do that. But yeah, just seeing your friends and having that. Okay, let's see what Brian is saying. Ooh, got a whole pile of PS4s for cheap. Some expensive vintage knobs. Of course, Brian's not buying knobs. Tons of bread and butter whatnot fodder. Okay, don't mention the tubs of wrestling figs Brian missed out on, or he may cry. Oh, so this might be Tracy. This might be Tracy calling out Brian that he missed out on some wrestling figures. Hopefully there weren't any Hulk Hogan's in there. But yeah, it sounds like you guys did. Now, PS4s for cheap. Are you talking PS4 games or PS4 consoles for cheap? Because a pile of consoles would be awesome. And Ruth Ann was always excited to get back to school. I was always like, meh, on school. I did well in school. It wasn't overly challenging. Yeah, but it was more seeing the friends and just hanging out. Want to make a meatloaf with taco seasoning. Use crushed chips instead of breadcrumbs. Top it off with queso or salsa. Patrick, you're going to have to check in if you do that and let us know if it is as awesome as it sounds. Okay, cheer up, sad clown. Cheer up, my friend. Brian missed out. You can't get all the deals all the time. Consoles with tons of accessories. Man, you guys killed it. I'll be interested. I haven't talked to Brian for a couple weeks because I've been busy. I haven't talked to my friend Corey, Grams and Pops. I need to find out their newest video today. Apparently, they blew it and like made a huge $10,000 mistake or something like that. I don't know. So go check out Grams and Pops. See what that's all about. Never liked Hogan. Raz never liked Hogan. Always for the bad guy. Always the heel. For those of you that don't know wrestling terms, the heel is the bad guy. Hated academic work, but I loved the music art, so I couldn't wait to get back to that. You just talked to Brian and Tracy yesterday. Well, my condolences to you, Kristen, for suffering through hey, if you can't bust your friend's balls, who you gonna do it to? Yes, I did watch that. Raz. I didn't I'm not great at commenting. I don't know why, but I did watch your Aussie tribute. Very cool over on Raz's channel. If you want to see that, go check that out. Yes, Brian is going to call me soon. Yeah, it's always a marathon call when I talk to Brian, but we cover just about everything, from reselling to life to whatever. Just the things that are going on. Oh yeah, Hot Rod. Rowdy Roddy Piper was probably my favorite wrestler. Got a huge elite wrestler lot this week. I was pretty excited about that. Very cool. I was at a sale that had a whole box of wrestling figures. They were priced too high and they were all like filthy. They were dirty, like physical grime on them and all marked up, and some of the hands, like the little bendy fingers, were missing. And so I had to pass on it, but I was excited. The first thing you do, you go look in the box, and it's like, oh, look at all these wrestling figures. Okay, let's make a deal on all of them. But they were individually priced, and I wasn't going to be able to get a deal at a price that I want to pay. So anyway, so yeah, we did Wednesday night of last week. We were up no, we went to see that Banfield show in Huber Heights, Ohio. It's a couple hours away, and had to drive home. Didn't get home until almost 4 in the morning. And then I had to get back up at 6 o'clock to go do some family stuff. and then got home from that roughly about noon, and then headed out to meet up with Chris Cajun Reseller and start doing some sales, some Route 30 sales. Um, Boys are dirty. Yeah, they just play hard. They're not necessarily dirty. They play hard when they play. Um, oh, that was the same comment twice. The real question is, how'd you do at the bins? Kristen, so that's like at the very end. Yesterday, went to the Goodwill bins here in my town with Chris Cajun, and I don't have any of that stuff in here with me, but I did pretty good. I spent about $35, 34 and some change. Our bins are like $1.89 a pound. I had like 17 pounds. But it was I got this vintage Winnie the Pooh like crib set. It's not new, but I found all the pieces, like the the bed sheet thing, the like the crib protector, like that you put around that kind of gives a little border. There was the comforter that went with it, and then another like heavier. And I'm thinking in what I'm seeing in the comps is I might even get close to $100 for that. So I really got to look at it. I got to run it through the washer. Kristen, yes, I did get the quilt blocks, but I ended up because I found some first and I was picking them up out of the bin, and Chris Cajun was there and he saw me picking them up. So he started grabbing them too. And so at the end, it's like I had a stack and he had a stack, and they were all the same kind of style or must have been from the same person. So I thought you would be better off having a bigger lot of them rather than few. So I gave them to Chris. I thought, here you go, buddy. You take these. You're traveling from Louisiana. I always like when people travel or come around that they get the deals, or that they get find some good stuff to make their trip worthwhile. So I don't know what those will be worth in the whole stack, but there was probably uh I don't know, I had like 11 of them, and I think Chris had a few more, so there was probably 25 to 30 of them. So I sent them along with Chris, and hopefully he will list them. Yes, a pack and play. We saw a million pack and plays. I think I had told that story last year at the sales when Chris and I, two grown men out there trying to put this pack and play back together, because I was looking one for my mother for my little grandniece, um, my great grandniece. Yeah, grandniece. Anyway, the little one, Mallory. Looking for one of those, and we could not get that damn thing back together. And to top it all off, I was wearing these glittery, shiny silver shoes that I had bought. So I don't even know when that was. Last year. Go back, you'll find it someplace in an episode. That stuff is gold. I was just telling someone yesterday, I wish I had my daughter's old nursery set. We have the classic Pooh stuff. Yeah. This is like vintage 90s stuff, and it's in great shape. Great shape. Uh we didn't play. We didn't play bingo on this Route 30. We were straight business on this one. Looking for not always though, because we had a lot of fun. Um yes, finding all the pieces. Um so Thursday of the sales of the road, I'm just kind of gonna go a little bit through progression because it was fun, and why not? Uh Thursday, when I finally got out to the cabin to hook up with Chris, um Jill was there, and Garrett. Garrett, who is the lead singer for the band Feel, was hanging out, and because he had to fly back to his home in Sacramento. So there was no reason after the show for him to get in a vehicle and drive all the way to St. Louis, like whatever that is, 9 hours or something, just to go there and get on a plane when he was an hour away from like Cleveland or Columbus airport. So after that gig, we brought him and Miko, their guitar tech, back with us, and then Jill took them to the airport just to save them a bunch of travel. After I play with the Champ, it's hard to it is. I should have played with Chris just to try to redeem myself after the crushing, brutal, ass whooping that Brian put on the rest of us at the citywide sale. But if anything, I'm still undefeated. Okay, here's an update. I'm still undefeated against all resellers in ping pong. Played some ping pong, and I'm still undefeated. I'm undefeated against resellers, and now I'm undefeated against touring, headlining lead singers for bands, and Jill, and Jill. I'm undefeated against therapists as well. So in ping pong, but that was a fun night. The four of us just hanging out after we had went to the yard sales, which was just a great time. The four of us just laughing and cutting up and having fun at the sales. If Chris Cajun and Garrett are lurking and watching someplace in the background, Jill needs them to. Now, I know Chris is driving, so Chris, be safe. Be safe, but a quick thumbs up, something under there, something to let us know that you're watching. And Garrett, if you're watching, but we had a blast out at sales, and so I'm going to start showing you a few items that I have, and I guess I'll start with one that was a really good find that Chris and I, seasoned resellers, just totally blew it. Walked right past, and didn't find. Oh, let me see who's. Oh, that was not a. So check this out. Check this out. You can see that Carhartt patch on there. Beautiful, beautiful condition. This thing is in beautiful shape. Lined in there. Absolutely beautiful shape. It's on a rack, clothing rack. Jill looks at clothing and stuff. Yeah, I am a star. I cheat. Jill says I cheat. Yes. This Carhartt coat. So here's the story on the Carhartt coat, right? I mean, look at this thing. It's practically brand new. It almost looks unworn. Size XL. So a really good size, XL. So we're at the sale. Chris and I had went by the clothing, and just kind of, I don't look at the clothing a lot, but I will look for stuff like that. And what is up, Glenn? Good to see you, my friend. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Talking about Route 30 sales with Chris Cajun was up here. So this coat, Jill comes walking over to after Chris and I had already went by these clothing racks and looked at stuff. They had like a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey and stuff on there. So I was kind of looking at stuff. And Jill brings it over and she's like, "Did you guys miss this? Or did you not want this? Or hey, look what I found, not the reseller, but a brand new Carhartt coat." Jill brings over and it has this stick. I don't know if you can see that or not. $5. $5 for that near new Carhartt jacket. Now, comping them, ones that I can see in the similar style, it's so hard. There's so many numbers on the tags. It's hard to tell what the actual style is. But any of them that I've seen sell between like 70 and 125 or plus to that. So an awesome pickup. And so as we're standing there, I'm standing there holding the coat, and the people at this sale were super fun. They were fun, and we were goofing around. They had these huge dogs. I don't know what kind of dogs they were, but I mean, they literally were up to like their heads were above my hips, just massive and strong. The one dog like basically almost pushed me out of the way. And when it brushed by me, I like physically had to move. Or it physically moved me. Great Danes. They were Great Danes. What were their names? Maximus and I don't know. Maximus and probably King Kong. They were huge. So anyway, Jill, this jacket's $5, and I'm standing there holding it, on the hanger. And Jill says to the lady, "How much are clothes?" Because she was getting a couple clothes off Moo and Maximus. Jill says, "How much is the clothing if it doesn't have a sticker on it?" And she's like, "Oh, they're $1. If there's no sticker on it, the things are $1." So I'm standing there holding this coat, and I look right at the lady, and I like grab a hold of the price sticker and I pull it off. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know how many people that would probably have done that when we say if it's not marked, it's $1, and they just pulled the price sticker off." And so, I put it back on it. And so, in my negotiating fashion, that even though $5 for this Carhartt coat is an absolute positive steal, after I did my little thing, I'm like, "Yeah, will you do $3 on the jacket?" And she's like, "Yep, let's do it." And so I got that Carhartt coat. Again, anywhere from 70 to 100 plus for $3. And so then Jill gets on me. It's like, "Oh, you had to work them. It was $5. You had to work." I'm like, "You know what? That's $2 that I still get to spend at other sales later on." That's the way I look at it. If I can negotiate a deal, I'm going to try it. I'm not ridiculous. I don't lowball. I do have one that I'll talk about that was kind of a lowball. But we'll talk about that. Yeah, those ladies were very fun. And Kristen, I bought something at that sale that you might like. I'll have to show it at some point. I don't have it here with me. So anyway, we're off and running. We're at the sales, and this was like late in the day on the first day. Like we didn't get out until like 2 o'clock or so. So this was probably 3:30, 4, and that jacket is still on the rack for $5. It's like, get out of here. But yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that. A lot of fun. Just going from, and there were a number of sales that were still open that late in the day, which I was surprised. And we picked up a lot of good stuff that late in the day. Um, so then let's see, I'll just go through some stuff here. Um, yes, natural born negotiators. Well, I got that from my pop. I got that from my pop going to yard sales with him and garage sales and stuff when I, was younger. We used to go out to sales all the time, and he's always a negotiating everything. And I'll talk about another negotiation where sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut and not make a deal before the deal is ready to be made. So we were at this sale, and these are LiftMaster remote controls for your garage door. This is a 1-button version, and then there's a 3-button version. Oh, there you go, Raz. Accidentally lowballed somebody because you thought it was a lower model. And it again, with negotiating, the person that's selling the item, they have every opportunity and every right. It's their stuff to say no, no or counter offer. Yes, negotiating does run in the family. Yes, my Uncle Fran as well was a big negotiator out at the sales. So anyway, I'm at this sale, and they have these remote controls, and there's in a box. So I ended up getting 12 of these of the single button and 4 of the 3-button. They were in a box. They wanted $2.50 a piece. Counted them all up, and that was $40. This was also on Saturday, the last days of the sale. Oh man. At the dump and saw someone toss an American flag in the heap. Broke my heart. My PSA for the day, take your old flags to the American Legion or the Boy Scouts. Yes, and they will dispose of the flag ceremonially and properly. Taking advantage of would have done $2. So anyway, I've got these. Yeah, so these are $2.50 a piece. There's 16 of them. That's $40. It's late in the day on a Saturday, and so I asked the lady. I was like, "What would you do on all the rest of the remotes?" And in my head, it's like I would like to be half price. I would like to be around $20, $1.25 a piece. But we'll see what she says. So in my mind, I'm doing that. And so she goes, "Oh, well, let me see." And she comes over and she starts to count them. You know how people will do that with, like, "Oh, how much do you want for all of these?" And then they want to count up how many there are. So I'm just getting ready to say to her, we just do $20 for the whole box before she gets a chance to count them all. And she says, right, my mouth is open, my tongue's working, getting ready to say, "Hey, will you do 20?" She's like, all of them here left over. I don't know. Give me $10. You give me $10 and just get them out of here. Oh, sure. I'll do that. 63 cents a piece, basically, for them. And they sell, they're $14, 14 to 15, like 14, 13.99, 14.99, on eBay anyway, for the single button version, and like maybe $16 for the 3-button. And so it's like, well, hell yeah. Now, had I said something $20, she would have probably thought good, but she made the offer at $10. So, and the beauty part is one listing, quantity of 12, one listing, quantity of 4, and there'll be something. They're small, they're easy to store, it's cheap to ship, and I will get those they'll just, I'll put them in a little bin or something, and occasionally they'll sell. I need to sell like one. I need to sell one and a half or something like that to get my money back. Um, but it'll just be one of those things that'll sit on the shelf, and over time, hopefully the pile dwindles down, and not the greatest sell through rate, but if I price them right, if I price them just under everybody else, I'll be mine will move a little bit quicker. Raz got that $450 graphic card for $175. He was asking 260. That card will soon be in my computer. Hell yeah. Get a great graphics card for like less than half the price. Sweet deal. I love it. I think you can get a permit to ceremonially burn a flag in honor of a vet, but you have to have a permit. When my best friend died, he was a Vietnam vet, and we got a permit from the American Legion. Very cool. I did not know that. See, we're dropping flag knowledge here today too. Thank you, Ruth Ann, for that. Um, so that was another good item that I picked up. Um, let me see, what else do I have here? We'll get through some of this stuff. A brand new Logitech 920 webcam, still sealed in the box. They wanted 5 for it. I gave them 3, or negotiated myself to 3, and it's probably about a $40 item for that, new and sealed. But I might use this because, well, actually, I think it's a couple models better than the one that I'm using. That's right there. That's what you're viewing me through, is a Logitech webcam. And this one is a couple models, so I might swap this one out for that one, or I might sell it for $40, or I might use it when I move out to the garage office. I'm going to try to start broadcasting from out there, but so I might use this for that. But in the end, $3 into $40, I'll do that, right? Am I right? As I like to say, all day, every day. Ruth Ann, I know you said you were I heard you on your show this morning that you were a big Looney Tunes fan. I picked a couple of these up. I really haven't comped them. They were just sitting here. These are stocking holders, Christmas stocking holders. There is Bugs Bunny, like Santa, reading his list with his carrot pencil. And there is Tweety and Sylvester right there. And I'm not even sure. I haven't even taken them out of the box. Actually, I went to look at them when I was at the sale, and when I got in there, they're like in styrofoam, and the styrofoam was still taped on the sides, so they might be completely brand new. Um, but I still have to look up. They are Matrix brand, Matrix Looney Tunes, uh, stocking holders. So I know you said you were a big Looney Tunes fan, so I thought, oh, I'll just show those real quick. A couple other items of clothing. Again, these are ones that Jill found at a sale. Um, she found them, or got to the. This is a Harley Davidson size 3X. Look at this fun thing. Got the sleeve hits. Got the embroidered logo on the front, and then the logo on the back has, this is kind of like a rubbery feel, a rubbery feel. But in a size 3X Harley Davidson tag, genuine motor clothes, it says on the tag. Couple of little stains in the white that I have to, but Jill thought those would come out pretty easy. $2, $2 for that. I didn't negotiate on that. It was $2. And at the same sale, this is a size. This is a 2X. This is a white Harley. Got the patch on there. It's the 100-year, like 100-year anniversary thing of Harley Davidson. I don't know what the little chain is for. I don't know what the little chain is for on there. But look at this. Look at this embroidered back hit. Right there. I know my camera lights all go dim when I'm doing that. But a big Harley Davidson American Eagle patch. And you know, Harley Davidson buttons on there. So again, $2 for that one as well. I don't know what they're valued at, but I wasn't going to leave them sit there. Yes, as do I, Ruthann. As do I. The original, you know, when they used to drop anvils on people's head and blow them up with sticks of dynamite or shoot them right in the face at point blank range. Everybody was all right. I came out okay in the end. Danny, what is up? Good to see you here. Jill checking in and saying, hey, Danny, as well. We're talking about the Route 30 highway, Lincoln Highway byway sale. Some of the stuff that I got, hanging out with Chris Cajun Reseller was here, with Jill, with our friend Garrett. Just, it was a great weekend. And kind of today, this morning, Chris then came for the last, after the sales, we just hanging out. He's taking a break too. I was taking a break. And so the last couple of days, I talked about being undefeated in ping pong, but I will give credit where credit is due. We play disc golf. Some people call it frisbee golf, but disc golf we played while Chris is here on a couple of different courses here in my town. And I gotta admit, Chris has skills. He's got skills, and he bested me. Well, bested kind of makes it seem like it was close. It was not close. Chris kicked my ass. Do I really want to talk ping pong? Not with you, Jill. I don't. Bikers love chains. Brian and Tracy got some Breyer horses. Had to pay up, but will pay off well. Yeah, the Breyer horses. That's the go-to brand. If you're looking for horse figures, gotta get you some Breyers. Yes, the Psycho Coyote falling off a cliff like that far, and then just hold up a sign that says like "Yikes." But I got those Harley shirts. Jill found those. Oh, Chris, I was talking disc golf. Chris beat me up pretty bad. So I will give him the credit, and we'll never speak of it again after this. Jill has ping pong videos of us playing that night. Yeah, that was just a fun. That was probably one of the funner nights of the whole weekend. Then we went down and we got ice cream. There's a little ice cream shop. You know, not to mention the whole time before, riding ATVs and just sitting by a fire and just having a fun. It's been a whirlwind of activity here the last, like, say, almost 3 weeks. Yeah, I think after this show, I'm taking a nap. Full disclosure, I'm not showering today. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going anyplace. And every day, it's get up, get yourself ready, get stuff going, blah, 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 blah. So, I'm just chilling. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I beat the pants off of Chris all the time. He's one of the resellers. He's one of the reasons that I'm a undefeated against resellers. Chris Cajun, Jimmy Old School Flips, um, my friend Doug. Well, Jill is technically a reseller too because she does Whatnot shows with me and does shows on her own, and and um and so yeah, I'm against any out. If anybody wants to come around at some point, take me on. We would do it. Um, oh yeah, I did make them all play. Did make them all play, and we had fun. Um, tread. I know. I know. We're gonna quit talking about ping pong. Jill says that I cheat and that I play differently against her, but that's another show. Maybe next weekend we'll get into the psychological aspects of ping pong and or maybe not. We'll see. What else did I find? Brian, if you're still here, this is an item. I think that when Brian was here for the citywide sales, before he even got here, he was calling dibs on like Pentax cameras or something like that. He's not even here. He's calling dibs. I'm like, what's up with that? Isn't it finder, first come, first serve? Um, so I got this at a sale. It is a Pentax K1000, the Pentax. It's got these, I'm not sure, it doesn't have like an actual lens on here. These seem to be like lens converter sort of things. If I take this off, I don't think that's an actual lens, but in the thing is a telephoto lens. Now I've looked these up and there's not great value to this lens or to those converter lenses that are on there. There's a flash in there as well as some other things, but the beauty part that I like is it does still have the actual manual with it. Let me see, does this have a date on it by any chance? 1988. 1988 is on that. So definitely vintage Pentax film camera. The story on that or that particular sale, let's ask Roman about that, about cameras. And I seem to punk cameras a lot. Shout out to Roman. But anyway, they were asking what were they asking on that? I think they're still, I know what I paid. Yeah, they had $30. They had $30 on this camera, and they were talking about how they were just trying to get rid of everything. And this was on Saturday as well. They were just trying to get rid of stuff, right? So if you didn't like the price, make a deal. So I said, on your camera here, I said I'm gonna throw out, and I even said it this way. I said I'm gonna say, would you do 15? I know that's half price, and that's a little low, but let's talk about it. Would you do 15? And they hem hawed and they go, well, how about 20? Would you do 20? I was like, great, because in negotiating, a lot of times, whatever they counter with, I'm going to take that, and so I got that camera for 20, and it looks as though all of them that sell are about $100. $100 just for the camera. I've seen the just the body of the camera with no lenses go for around the 100 range. Of course, you get some of those ones where the people put them on auction and they go for like $38. And But from my stuff, it's probably about $100 altogether with everything. The cool part about that is if I just do a search on eBay for like Pentax camera K1000, there's like 1,200 listings. Now some of that gets accessories and blah blah blah, but there's about 1,200 listings, but 1,500 solds. So I'm pretty sure it's going to sell relatively quickly or within a reasonable amount of time. And so I got 20 bucks into probably 100 plus once I get it comped out and what get those what those lenses exactly are. I do know that the lenses are not high dollar lenses at all, but I wasn't going to pass, and we'll ship it in this case as well. So that was a pretty good find, I think. But at that same sale, again, I don't know if Chris is out there listening. Okay, these people are talking about how they are going to uh they just make a deal if you don't like the price, because we're probably everything when it's done, we're just taking to donate, take to the Goodwill or Salvation Army or wherever they're going to donate it, right? So Chris is looking at these purses that the lady had. They were some like Vera Bradley purses. There were some Bagolini, a few names, and he made the lady. Now I was dealing with the guy mostly on the camera, and then he was dealing with the lady on these purses, and she had like $8 a piece on them, which wasn't hateful. And I forget, he tried to buy the whole lot of them for, and I don't know what it was, but it was probably around $2-3 a piece for the bags. And she's like, I don't know. Well, I would come down to 6 a piece. So she was taking $2 off, 6 a piece, late in the day on a Saturday, and they're going to donate everything. Why would you not take the deal? Why would you not? She's like, she must have been married to those purses or whatever, but she's going to donate them in the end when she could have had a reasonable offer that Chris made, or at least negotiated a little better than just, the couple dollars. Chad's a little bit behind, but he negotiated up at a yard sale. Now, that doesn't happen that often, but I've seen it done. A box of light bulbs that I knew was valuable. And in my head, I'm thinking $20. I asked the guy what he wants. He says 10. And I said, I was thinking 20. So you want to meet in the middle. So I'm assuming that you ended up with $15 on these light bulbs. Hey, and that's cool. That's, um, treating somebody a little bit fairly. They're happy, obviously, when they said 10 and you're gonna up it a little bit. So very cool. Yeah. And then you're gonna make your money. You know what they're worth. You know what the value of them is. And at that point, what's the $5? Although I said earlier when I worked someone down from 5 to 3, when Jill got on me about that Carhartt coat, you couldn't give him 5. Like, that's $2 more I have to spend later on stuff. So we covered the Pentax camera there, which 20 and about 100. And then Chris's deal where we're gonna donate it all, but we won't take your money. Brian, here's another one. How about a real Panasonic Real 3DO console? Right here. Now I took the cords. I have the cords are down in a box. The audio and the video, or the video and the power cord and stuff is in there. I haven't tested this yet. But I gave and I don't have a joystick. It did not come with a joystick. But we had worked out a deal that they wanted $45 for it, and I got it for 30. I gave them 30 on the Panasonic 3DO video game system. I don't know if it works, but the part that was with it, though, that was also with it, was the 3 games. Now, the 3DO system itself, I've seen a lot of them go at 100 plus. This one, I will try to test it, hook it up, test it the best I can. Obviously, I don't have a joystick to be able to test it, but I'll make sure that it powers on. I'll put a disc in. I'll make sure that it fires up the disc, and that sort of stuff. But there were also 3 games with it. So the console itself, if everything tests out and works out, I'll probably list it around that $100. But the games, the 3DO Panzer General, and the beauty part is they are all still in their original boxes, and they all still have the manuals and paperwork that was with them. Now, some of the boxes, have seen better days. On the top, they're gently loved, just like plush. So this one's 30 to 35 bucks. So if I can sell this one, of course you have fees, and I understand all that, but I've got most of my money back if I can sell this. You've got the Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark, again, the box, little tabs torn off the corner there, but the paperwork and the manuals and all of that stuff are in here. And the discs are like super clean, like nary a scratch anywhere on them. So that's a super plush or a super plus. Yeah, the games usually do well. And so this one, Alone in the Dark, should be around 50 bucks. So that's great there. And then Star Wars Rebel Assault should be about $65, $70. 65 to 75, we'll say, for that. So if I sell the lowest price game, I'm good to go. If I sell, all of these, there's really good profit. And then the machine itself, even if it goes, as parts only in the end, just as parts only, I would get my money back. But so I was excited to find that and work that deal. That was pretty cool. They did have an Atari. They didn't know what they had in that. And I think that's why the price was lower and what was the negotiation. Or maybe they did and I got punked. But they had an Atari, an original Atari 2600 with a few controllers and about a half a dozen games. And they were asking $200 for that, which I thought was a little on the high side. Maybe with all the games it was okay. But so that was a pretty good pickup. That's going to be some nice profit for my $30 that I spent. A couple other things that are fun. Look at this cool North Face. It's called a Voyager Messenger laptop bag. Jill found this. And she was actually going to use it herself. Very good condition. There's no marks on this faux leather or whatever it is. But it was $5. They wanted $5 for it. We gave her $3. I gave the guy $3 for it. Jill was just getting ready to pay, and I was like, well, let's ask him, let's do $3. What's up, Johnny? Frizzy Finds is here. Good to see you. Talking about Route 30 highway sales, showing a few things that I picked up, and people are checking in with their big finds over the weekend. We did well on video game stuff this weekend, but all newer stuff. I did buy a little stack of PSP games. They were $1 a piece, and it's like, yeah, they all were still in the cases, all with the instructions, and so I'm not gonna go wrong at $1 a piece on some PSP video games. But the North Face bag. Jill had bought it to use with her stuff, and then I comped it, and it should be about a $50 bag. And so $3 into $50, might as well do that. Glenn says he found an Oakley bag at Nashville for 10, sold for 150. Boom. All day, every day. I love it. I love those stories. Um, yes, they do overvalue Atari because that's kind of like one of the original big systems, that were out there, and there's a lot of that stuff listed. Um, yes, Jill's big find was a leather jacket for herself, but hey, you're out there getting deals. Um, Jill, I can't remember which leather jacket. Oh, no. I know which leather jacket. Again, calling Jill was calling dibs from the car before we even got up the driveway. She bought this absolutely beautiful fringed leather jacket with hand sewn beadwork. Um, fringe on the sleeves. The lady actually had worn it when she would do horseback shooting. She was like a horseback shooter. Uh, and it was hanging there, and Jill was like, salivating. She was just in love. But it is Lariat Leather, I think was the brand, made in USA with all the hand stitching beadwork on it. Um, and ended up getting like a good deal on it. We did. Oh, cool. Jill just sent me. Jill just look at this thing. If you can see that, if you're watching the screen, look at the beadwork like right in here and up near the shoulders and all of the fringe off of it. Um, let's see where it was. Yeah, and then on you can see on the like the sides of the sleeves, like near the cuffs or whatever. And she actually had to, because she didn't want to spend all of her like or a lot of her cash because it was a little pricey. Um, the lady she talked to her, she was Jill wrote a check. Jill wrote a check, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, who carries a check with them? But she wrote a check, and the lady took it, and just an absolute beautiful, beautiful jacket. Super excited about it. And you'll probably see her wearing it in Nashville next year at the meetup or before if we go. Yeah, it was I think leather stains, right? Leather stains when you salivate on it, because I think Jill just stood there and like for probably 15 minutes before we started to work a deal on it. Jill always has a check with her from her business, not a personal check. So that helped too. That I found a big lot of vintage 90s handheld video games. They have comped out pretty good. Yes, the older handhelds like that, definitely they sell well. They're very nostalgic, depending, which ones you have. Um, I had got a lot. Oh, I had I don't know, it's probably been over a year or so now or more of 70s handheld video games. And those things, like, it's like I couldn't list them fast enough. They were selling. Um, but yeah, Jill's leather jacket that she found, that's not a resale item. That is for her. What's a check? Yes, Brian Tracy. It's actually this little piece of paper that has some lines on it. You just write any number you want to, and you sign it, and you give it to somebody. And it's like way back. They were invented like around the time of the telegraph machine. You had telegraphs and you had checks, and that's when people still crapped outside in like a outhouse, and they used to use these things called checks. It's amazing. Um, and the person just believed that you actually had that amount of money, and it would go to the bank, and it would take, like 13 days to get your money. Um, yes, Jill saying to Brian Tracy, she found some great flannels and super cheap denim jackets for her repurposing. Uh, and Ruth Ann says I carry my checkbook just in case somebody will sell a huge lot and take a check. So I'm with Jill on the check writing. Man, there's so many like age inappropriate jokes that I could make, but I love my friend Rebecca and Jill, so no sense in getting myself in trouble, right? How about some records? Dad, are you watching? Are you watching? These are a couple things that I bought for a reason. 45s. This is Tote 45. Blah, blah, blah. But completely full of 45s. Well, right here on top, Conway Twitty, slow hand, right? Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's the second 45. What is up, Jake? Long time no see. My friend Jake Yakov Benz is here. Thanks for popping in. Let's see. This is probably Jill giving me. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is funny. Jill, I'm not calling you out, but she knows. Jill says, "Isn't that Ruth Ann and not Rebecca?" Which that's just a running gag. Because one time I actually did call Ruth Ann Rebecca. It was right after the Nashville meetup, and she came into one of our shows, and I was like, "Oh, that's right, we got to meet her at Nashville. It's Rebecca, right?" And it's like, "No, it's Ruth Ann." So now I do that. So when I want to get myself in trouble, it's Ruth Ann. Yeah, are you calling? Are you calling? Oh, I was sweating. No, I know it's Ruth Ann. And again, back to Jake. Hi, Jake, says Jill. Good to see you here. But look, the second record in here, Motley Crue, Smoking in the Boys' Room, and Use It or Lose It on 45. That thing's pretty damn clean. So let's do one more. The Charlie Daniels Band, Devil Went Down to Georgia, but somebody stuck a label on it. Anyway, this whole tote of 45s in this plastic case, as well as this tote of filled with 45s. There's hardly any room in this thing. Let's try to pull one out here. I don't want to scratch them all up because they were in pretty good shape. But who do we got here? We got Elton John. Sad song, say so much. Say so much, yeah. And then A Simple Man on the backside. And what else here do we have? I don't even know who Ronnie McDowell is. But there's all kinds of different genres in here. This looks like. Jake doesn't pick up records. If you get the things that are hot, like now, if you can find like 80s metal and stuff, I will also pick up popular like artists that were like R&B artists and stuff, because depending on what they are and the mix and the songs that are on them, DJs, the kind of DJs that use the turntables and scratch and all of that, they will buy a lot of the old R&B stuff because they use those beats on them. Um, and so that's usually what happens when I find those R&B ones. I am not a fan of being old. Being called Bam Mom is a struggle. Um, I did. I did. Well, when I said it, hey, that's Rebecca. In my mind, that was it. That was right. That was your name. I was correct. And then I was corrected immediately by the chat. It's Ruth Ann. It's like, now what am I going to do? What is up, Jeff Ball? Hey, Ken. Hey, Jill. There's another name I haven't seen forever. Jeff, we were perusing your booth out at the Sweet and Sour Thrift over the weekend when our friend was there. Thought you might be there, or that we might see you out at some 30 sales again. But let's talk about this, okay? Like when Jake says, here you go. When Jake says he doesn't pick up any records, he never found any of them worth it. I am not interested at all in any of the records that are in this tote right here. Nor am I interested in any records in these. What I am interested in is the 45 totes, the cases that they come in. Because this one right here, this totes 45, it's $25 all day long. This one in little better condition, than what it is probably $35, because I've sold these before. So anytime I find records, a lot of times people are not putting value at all on the record case. But my dad's a big record collector, so I'll give him the 45s and I will sell the record cases. At this sale, she wanted $10 a piece for these. Again, it was a Saturday, end of the day. She was wanting, well, I guess it was kind of early in the day. She was wanting to get rid of stuff, and I just said, well, you take $10 for both of them. So that's what we did. So I've got these, and there might be some value to the 45s in there. My dad will enjoy playing them, looking at them, going through them, comping them, that sort of stuff. But so I paid $10, and I probably got about $50 in value just in the cases. So don't concern yourself always with the records themselves. Look at the cases, comp those. Oh, no booth at Doris. You're not there. I am now in Galleon, now at Hometown Treasures. Okay. That is good to know. I will have to stop in to home. Where's that at? What street is that on, Jeff? Yes. Galleon at one time, I don't know if they had a number of thrifty stores and stuff. So the records, that was another thing I found. An inflatable Frankenstein. I paid $1.50 for it. 4-foot inflatable. It is a Gemmy branded one. You know, relatively new. They didn't put it back in the box very well, but they only what they said is that it was never outside. They were having a party. And so they got this out and they inflated it to see if it worked. And then they didn't have the party. So they deflated it and they put it back in the box. It was just going to be a decoration for the party. So $1.50, and that should be a $30 item around there. 25 to 30, those newer ones. But sometimes it's a little hard to comp right now because those, unless you use like a Terapeak or something, those comps go back 90 days. And although right now I have been selling some good Halloween stuff, as you get here towards the end of August, 1st of September, those sales of Halloween stuff start to go up. On Harding Way East. Okay. Good deal. Well, we will. Is it a consignment sort of place, Jeff? Are you there most days or some days, or just drop your stuff off and let them sell it? See me negotiating with people, folks, while we're on here. Jeff is a good friend that is also a reseller and does a lot of um at the flea market sort of stores. Has booths at the antique and the flea market stores. Um, yeah, that would have been a good reason that we didn't see Jeff, because he wasn't there. For sure. Uh, but yeah, met Jeff at a thrift store that we're at. We got to talking about reselling and about YouTube and about this and that, and try to check in at his booth to see what he has new. And I see him out at the sales. We cross paths at the sales from time to time. Um, oh, see, look at my mother busting my bag right here. All you got to do is list them. Hey, I'm just ragging on you for Chris, since he is driving. Yes, Chris tries to keep me in line. He's all the time giving me grief about um getting my stuff listed and actually doing the work. And we just had a great weekend, though, going to the sales, and then here, this first part of the week, just hanging out and doing stuff. Just drop off. There's over 60 vendors. Well, I have to find Hometown Treasures. Okay, I will look that. Actually, I'm going to write a note right now. Okay, there we go. Short break there while I wrote that off. Good. That's cool. And good to see you, Jeff. Good to have you pop in. Um, did you do Route 30? Jeff, did you do Route 30, and did you find anything cool? I know you're like right here in our area. Just a couple more things I'll show. If you guys, I appreciate everybody hanging out. I know it's like after 1 now, and some of you have been here for a while, and the crowd's going down, but I'm having fun showing some stuff. Check out this skateboard. I bought this skateboard for $10. It is called a flow board, and I bought it because it was so damn interesting. Gotta go, have to take Joe to physical therapy. Hey, Susan, enjoy your last day of summer vacation. Get those errands done here quick so you can get home, and unfortunately have to get to bed early. Get up and go to the school, but thank you for popping in, and hopefully Joe is on the mend. For sure. So we will talk soon. And Susan, if you're still here, I still have a bag of stuff for you. So maybe we'll have to do something. I'll meet you at the school or something again. Uh Went Thursday for a bit to the sales. But look at this. Look at this flow board. Has anybody ever seen a skateboard like this? Look at this thing. Look at the wheels. Look how many wheels. My mom is saying, hey, Jeff, she knows Donna Ball. Any relative by chance? But look at this flow board. Look at all the wheels on this thing. It's crazy. And then we do have a little bit of video of our friend Garrett. Yes, it is mother. Let's see if Jeff is there. Hey, Judy. No, not that he knows of. Not that he knows of. Flow board, skateboard. I need to look that up a little bit more. Surf skate. Find one of these that has all the wheels on it. But that's absolutely crazy. I've never seen a skateboard, and that was why it was so intriguing. They had another long. Oh, it helps if I spell things correctly. Some days I'm an idiot. Okay, there's a flow board. There's a flow board. A couple of flow boards listed 65, 60, 80, 69, 14 wheel X Games. Let's see what they sell for, if there's any solds really. I just didn't want to pass it up. There's one that sold for 75, 60 with a line through it, 60 with a line through it, 69, 68. So I'm gonna get I paid $10 for it. Oh, there's one that went for 135. Okay, modern Shakespeare. There's Santa making a list. You could thank Garrett for that purchase. Yeah, Garrett found it. And then we have some video of him actually like trying to write it. But yeah, most of them are going for like $50 to $100. Some of them have better graphics on them. That's just basically that basic sandpaperish, sort of a finish to it. Board seems to be in pretty good shape. So I have to, and then sometimes you get like, if I don't want to ship this whole board, you can sell these trucks, the trucks with the wheels on them separately. Wheels are a little bit dirty, but they all spin really well. And so I might pull the trucks off of them and sell it separately, or do it as a Facebook marketplace as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so essentially without Garrett and Jill, I would come home empty-handed. Yeah, because what does Jill have here? That day, the Carhartt coat. She got Garrett found the skateboard. Well, oh, Chris actually found this. Chris found this, and he showed it to me. I was like, "Hey, if you're not interested, I'll take that, because I like to sell these things." And so he gave me that for me to buy. Jill found the Harley shirts. I found the records and stuff. Yeah, so Jill has actually got a really good eye and finds stuff. Oh, two more things. Two more things. You guys want two more things? Are you hanging out for two more things? Let me know. Or are you like, okay, come on, Ken, wrap this up. We could do, what else do we have here? So pretty good value so far for my money. Several $100s worth of profit here. My mom says sure. Well, I'll show something. Okay, this next item I'm going to show, I have to make a deal with my dad, right? I need to make a deal with my pop on this one because it's an item that he might like. And even though it's my dad, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it to him, sell him this item if he's interested, but I'm jacking the price up. I'm a reseller. This is how I make my living. And even though it's my pop, I'm actually, because it's such a great item, I'm going to double the price on him. I'm doubling the price on him. Look at this sweet Cleveland Browns, like nylon windbreaker. It's got the NFL licensing on it. It's a size XL. It's got the let me do something. Let me move something here. It's got the Cleveland Browns embroidered on the back, like adjustable cuff sleeves. Yes, and it's like, it's pretty much flawless or flaw free. Is that a word? Flaw free on this. So Chris and I are out at this sale, right? And over in a little town that has usually has pretty good sales. I found that the Route 30 sales were a little bit down this year. I thought there wasn't as many sales. Now we did work some new areas as well this year, and found some good potential areas for next year. It was, but I thought overall the sales were a little down. So, but we're at this one, and I look on the table, and I see this like, now it's not a starter brand. It'd be great if it was a starter brand, but embroidered logo, Cleveland Brown, just sitting there on the table with a bunch of clothes. Now this was on Friday midday, so second day of the sales, and this jacket is still sitting there. I'm like, how is that even possible? Until I looked at the price tag. And I look at the price tag, and I'm trying to decipher what is this? How much is this jacket? So I take it up there because I couldn't tell exactly what they had. And so again, don't tell my dad in case I'm going to double the price on him. This is the price sticker on this jacket. And I'm looking at that because there's that extra kind of little mark. And I'm like, is this thing $25? Because even at $25 for this, nylon, almost perfect condition jacket, NFL license would be, I could see that's a fairly good price, right? And so I take it up to where the lady, there was a number, like different people's multiple family was having a sale or whatever. People were hanging out. And I said, how much is this coat? And I show her the price tag, and she said, it's a quarter. And I'm like, really? And then somebody else that was having the sale, like, looked over at her real quick, and she's like, you're selling that Browns coat for a quarter? And she's like, yeah, the Browns have been pissing me off. I'm tired of them. She's like, so I'm just getting rid of it. And I'm like, ching, here's the quarter, right? Now, this is the one item that I probably didn't try to work a deal on, because really, where do you go down from a quarter, right? What am I going to give her a dime? Give her 12.5 cents, something like that. I would have rounded to 13 because I'm not a dick, but 25 cents, right? For this nylon, near mint, almost doesn't look, Cleveland Browns embroidered coat. I'm like, so yeah, I'm gonna, even though it's my dad, I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna up the problem, doubling it on him. I'm gonna double it on him. I'm gonna make some money. He's gonna have a nice coat, or I might keep it for myself, too, because I'm a Browns fan. It's a tough existence being a Browns fan, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, so much for good dad deals, right? One would think that, oh, it's my pop, I should just give it to him, right? You would think. But no, I'm doubling the price. Doubling the price on him. And the last item I'll show now, this is, all of this stuff is not the last items the items that I've got the whole weekend, just ones that I thought that I would show. Oh, I do want to talk about one of the things that you ever go to these sales that for some reason they're just like the people that, well, we've probably been to a lot of them that are just difficult. It's like people don't need to, I would call them a jackhole. This is a jackhole sale, just leave, whatever. People are unreasonable. People are whatever, the way they have stuff. Or you go to the sale and it's like, oh, it's going to be a huge sale. Well, you know what, Jeff? I did drop the ball. No pun intended. I should have asked if there was any wiggle room on that at the 25 cents. The Jack Hole sale for this year. Go up the street, we see a sign. We go up Skateboard fell over. We go up the street and we see like all these cars in front. Oh, there's where the sale is, because all these cars are parked out front. Cool, but we don't see like a lot of people at the sale or any people at the sale, except for the lady that's running the sale is sitting there in a lawn chair at like her table up front, and she's folding clothes. And you're looking at the sale and a little bit iffy anyway, because it was all looked like baby toys and little kids' clothes and stuff like that. But quite a few tables, and you never know what you're going to find, right? We get out of the car to walk up, and Chris had kind of started up the driveway, and the lady's like, "You have to wait until 9 o'clock." We're looking around and we see like the people are in the cars. People are sitting in their cars. That's why I know there's like, I don't know, 3, 4 cars, other cars, 5 cars. They're all sitting in their cars. She's like, "You have to wait until 9 o'clock. I don't open until 9 o'clock." So I walk up to Chris and he's like, we have to wait till she opens. I'm like, "What time does she open?" And I get on my phone. She opens at 9 o'clock, and I get on my phone, and it's 8:56. It's 8:56, and before I put my phone down, it was 8:57. 4 minutes. 4 minutes till 9. She's out there in the driveway. She's sitting at her table. She's folding her clothes. Talk about not wanting early birds, right? Okay, I can understand people not coming and showing up at your house at like 7:30 in the morning when you open at 9. 4 minutes? 4 minutes. She would not let people come up her driveway until 4 minutes. And I'm like, well, it looks like it's baby clothes and baby toys. You never know what's in the boxes and bins underneath the table. And there was some other stuff there that we could see. It's like, no, I don't care. I'm not waiting 4 minutes. Not that I'm impatient or not whatever, but you are unreasonable about this. And so we just went and got in the car and left. And then because had got out and walked up and we're standing at the end of the driveway, everybody else started getting out of their cars because they thought, "Oh, these guys are going to beat us to the sale." They just turned around and walked away. It's like, really? That's what, 4 minutes. 4 minutes when you're sitting there, you're ready, and you have 4 or 5 potential buyers, cars. I don't know. Simmer down, jackhole. That's what I say. Last item of the day. I don't know if you can see this because it's all jumbled up, and I'll tell you why. Mr. Christmas vintage. We all know that is good stuff. Mr. Christmas vintage holiday carousel. Right? This is the one. This is the version that has like circus cars and the animals. There's like a zebra there. There's an elephant. There's a tiger or a lion. And they go up and down, and the cart plays music and stuff like that, right? So, this again is on Saturday afternoon after, like, their neighbors that still had signs out, their sales were closed up because they were done. It was kind of getting to that point in the day. And I'm wondering, because they only have, how is this thing here still on a Saturday afternoon? They only have $10 on it, right? So the lady walks over and she says, she said, "Everything works on that. The animals all go up and down stuff, but I can't get the music to play. And I don't know like how to open it up to get in there for the music to play." And it's like $10. And I'm still thinking, I might be able to do something. Although I'm all about profits and not projects. The last thing I need is more projects. But I know Mr. Christmas, and I know what, stuff will sell for. And so we talk about it. And I was like, well, kind of late in the day, and since you said the music box doesn't work, will you do any less on it with the 10? And she's like undecided. Well, I had these other three Christmas ornaments that were like $1 a piece. And so I asked her, I said, I tell you what, will you do 10? Will you do seven on that? And $1, $2, $3 on these other ornaments. And she kind of gives a glance over to the husband, and he kind of gives the nod. And okay. So now we've made the deal. Reach in my pouch there. I give her the $10. I now own this, right? Am I right? I own this thing. Well, we're going to put it back in the box because she had it, she had it out of the box so it was on the table and people could see it, and the box sitting up on it. So now we got the box on there, and she's trying to help. And it has this plastic film over the front that you can see here is kind of loose, right? So she has this thing down on the table, and she's trying to put it back in the box. And I'm also got my hands on the box trying to do it because I want it to be in there nicely. And I could see that the corner of that plastic was bad. Well, she's just jamming it in there, And she's got the plastic bent underneath it. And she just keeps jamming it. And more of the plastic is coming loose from the box. And I just keep going, well, hold on. Let me fix this. Let me get it. Just jam it in there. And now some other guy, a husband or whatever else that was there at the sale, he's over there. And he's like, well, it's caught up on the cardboard on the bottom. And so now he comes over, and now he's got his hands on there. And he's over here, and he's jerking, and he's tugging on this thing, on the cardboard. And I'm thinking, will you people please stop it? Because in a lot of this stuff, having a box, an original box on a vintage item that is in good condition helps the sale value. Am I right? Am I right? You guys are resellers. You know what I'm talking about. And this is a 1992. Yeah, exactly. You're killing me, Smalls. Right? She just keeps jamming, and that plastic just keeps ripping down more and more and more and more. And then the other guy's he's like tugging on the box, trying to open the hole up wider so that it goes in. Insert your own joke here. And finally I got them, like she shoves it in there, and the train car, she's got the train car facing up, so it's not like even fitting in the box. And finally is like, that's okay, I'll fix it in the car. And I took it, and it's all hooved up, and the plastic's all underneath everything. So I did get it to the car and got some semblance of order out of it. And yeah, I know, right? It's like the Three Stooges. I was about ready to poke the lady in the eyes is what was going to happen. Maybe hit that guy in the head with a hammer or something. But it was like, I'm just, the whole time I'm just like, please stop doing that. And but I got it in the car, and I fixed the train car. But now all of the things that were, all of the little horses, that animals or whatever, they were all on the card nice, and now they've all come off of their little things. Yeah, it was hooved up, right, Jill? It was all hooved up. And shout out to my mother. Shout out to Breakdancing Judy. It was all hooved up. Must have been a full moon. I know, right? Amy is here. Beach by Repeat. What is up, my friend? We're getting wrapped up here shortly. I've been talking about all the finds that I made on the Lincoln Highway sale this last weekend. Hanging out with Chris Cajun Reseller, with Jill, with Garrett from the band Feel. Everybody go check out the band Feel. Follow them on wherever, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Check them out. They're a great band. But just kind of showing some of the finds. So anyway, that in the end, I need to get it out, set it up, test it, see if I can figure out the music part of it. if I can get it, I'd say one of the last ones that sold was $100, $99. And I've got 7 into it. Uh, I've seen other ones then go down in the, $40 range. 39, 40. There's some 60s, there's some 70s. But again, unless I research it on like a Terapeak or something like that to get comps, say over the last year to see how they'll do more at Christmas time than rather the last 90 days. If I can get in there, play with it, it might just be some contacts or something like that that are bad for the music box part of it. Um, I might be able to do something with it. We will see. Um, that was a spectacular find, by the way, by, of course, Jill Kacherka, who saw it on the table. Honestly, I had already passed by that table. Look how big that thing. You see how big that box is? And the box is sitting up and the whole thing is like laying on the table. Just totally walk right by it. And you get focused on other things as you're looking and thing. And Jill's like, she's like, "Hey, isn't this Mr. Christmas? That's good, right?" And it's like, "Oh, don't." And so then I like stood right in front of it. It's like, I'm buying it. I'm gonna buy this. And I look and I see it's like only $10. Um, so at that price, that was good. So I'm also can't fix stupid. You cannot. Um, it was a full moon on that day. It was so I did get it again for $7, and I got those other ornaments. They were some Hallmark boxed ornaments. Um, they were all like, I don't know, $6 ornaments, 5 to 7, 5 to 8. So if I sell those three, that pays for that if it works or not, or maybe get my money back anyway. But so overall, the Route 30 sales, Chris Cajun, he filled up his car literally this morning because he then came and was staying at my place the last couple days. We're just hanging out and, running around, having fun, playing disc golf and stuff like that. He took off this morning, and when he went to like take his bag, like his backpack and like some cooler drinks and stuff like that, there was very little room in his car at all. So he's driving all the way back to Louisiana over the next couple days, and he really filled up because he was able to do some of the 127 on the way up, and then he was also able to go out Thursday morning over to a town that's off of the Route 30 and hit a bunch of sales all day when I was not able to be over there. And then he came, we hit all those ones in the evening. So it was a great weekend. It's been a great like 2.5, 3 weeks of just doing stuff, running here and there, hanging out, going to the band feel shows. I think we did like 3 or 4 shows, Jill. And just a really great time. But I am behind on a lot of stuff because we've been busy. But I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade that fun and that time to hang out. I can always start listing and I can always start doing whatnot shows again anytime, pick up the pace. We talked in the previous episodes about how I've got the mini split in and my office is now conditioned and I can work out there any time of the day, anytime I want. And I got that put in on it. We did it on like a Sunday. I don't know, sometime back in July. And I got to work out there one day, and then we started our whole band feel whirlwind of fun. That's exactly what it has been. this whole time. So, and yeah, just great time with friends. And but again, I'm not doing anything the rest of the day, and 9 of you other people can do nothing about that, that are still here watching. I thank everybody for hanging out with me today. We'll come up with something, maybe even back to the regular Ken versus 10 show, since I have so much stuff that we'll actually be listing and showing stuff. If you guys like to see, I love to hear the finds that you guys had, like, Chad, Brian and Tracy, Jeff was talking about stuff, um, Glenn was talking about some stuff that he found. I love to hear what you guys found too. Oh, and Ruth Ann picking up the wrestling figs and the video games and stuff like that. I like to hear what you guys are finding, and hopefully it's interesting when I show you some of the stuff that I found, especially when if I get back to the Ken versus 10 of where I'm listing it this week, and then seeing how many of those items that I can sell by the following week. That's always a fun little challenge to, if I'm finding good stuff. If you can sell anything in a week. Anybody that's still here, does anybody have a favorite item that you saw of mine, if you've been here the whole time, that you think that was really cool? And my items, because overall, we all know that leather jacket that Jill picked up as a personal item for herself, that was probably by far one of the coolest items that we even saw on the whole weekend. Let alone, make a purchase and bring it home. Jill thinks that Carhartt is, again, that could be close to $100 item for $3. But gonna figure out what to eat for lunch and work on some things. The dress, yes. That was a story I didn't talk about. Brown's coat, my mom says Brown's coat for $25. And shout out to Radar's Dairy Bar. Radar's Dairy Bar in Mifflin, for great ice cream and great food and being convenient. Shout out to Nancy. That is Jill's mother, for providing the place to stay and all the hospitality, if you will. Okay, that's it. I'm rambling. Everybody, have a great week. Have fun. I'm sure that we will be catching some of you. Hey, if you guys want some plush, or even if you don't want some plush, go over to Whatnot and follow my friend Four Seasons Picker, Ruth Ann, aka Rebecca, is on the plush raid train with Gulf Coast Pickers. I think she said she's on at 5 p.m. That might be 5 p.m. Central Time, but it doesn't matter what time it's on. You go over to Whatnot, you find Four Seasons Picker, you go to her shows and just bookmark, and then you're sure to get notified when she goes on. But and happy belated birthday yesterday to my friend Ruth Ann. The Nance is a beast. She isn't the beast. She is a beast. She is a beast and the best for sure. But yeah, go watch today. Go watch Four Seasons Picker. Pick you up some plush. Enjoy her show. She's fun. She's bubbly. She's yes, and I'm glad I provided a little bit of entertainment to someone anyway. So enjoy your week, everybody, and we will see you next week on Ken versus 10.